Yo, hello everyone and welcome in a new video. Don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel to not miss the next video, like and comment this one. Today, what we want to achieve, we want to create our first cluster, Kubernetes cluster with K0S. In the previous video, we created a Vagrant file and some bash scripts to install a cluster, but it's just not a real cluster, it's just one server. And in this video we will use K0S to install a cluster with master and followers and worker nodes, and you will see it's quite easy to achieve this step. It will be really useful because in some other future videos we want to, of course, to improve our knowledge about Kubernetes. We will see some details into it. We will install it, but really later with kubedm or with the hard way. We will practice the hard way, a really well-known pattern or framework to understand how Kubernetes work in details with each component that you need to run to have finally a cluster. But today it's quite simple. In fact, we will just use K0S. It's a first step before the other. Let's go. I will just create a new directory, so we can name it like I don't know, maybe K0S cluster, like that. And let's go. I can use a Visual Studio Code to do it, like here. And let's go. So we want to use Vagrant. So to do that, we need to have a Vagrant file with the uppercase. Take care about it. It's really important. And inside the Vagrant file, we will use the Vagrant loop. It's really important to have it. And this is a classical pattern for Vagrant usage. So we open the Vagrant loop here. We want to detect if we have a cache. We want to set etc host variable K0S, but we already have seen this kind of stuff in the previous video about Vagrant and K0S. So I will be just quickly on this part. After that, we want to prompt our user to ask him if we really want to install K0S and the entire cluster, because maybe the user just want to have multiple virtual server and install it just manually. So we want to handle that with just one question for our user. You just need to say okay, yes or no, and we will handle it later in a condition in our Vagrant file. After that, we set our first variable. So this is a common variable with you can see here it's a bash script, in fact. And we will have into this bash script the classical. So update, apt install some tools. If you want, you can add some custom tools for your usage. You can adapt it. It's not a problem. We set the SSH, but it's not really important for this use case because I use it for some other stuff as well. We had just after that another variable named rm token. So this is to remove at the end the token, but not really important as well. So now it's quite important. We want to use a Debian bookworm. Of course, you can update the version. Bookworm is not already up to date. I just want to keep it to just ensure that it works. I don't want to upgrade it right now, but it's easy to upgrade this part. You can just change it, and K0S is up to date, and you can run it directly on your up to date latest version of Debian. It's not a problem. I just want to set the spaces number like here, like that. Yes. And now into it, I want to have a cluster. So to do that, I want to create 4 servers. One is just an external server, for example, for our NFS or stuff like that. We can keep it. It's not a problem. And for our cluster, we have one master or one controller. This is the word used by K0S, and we need for each one to set the host name, the IP that we want to use. For our case, I just want to set another IP to be sure to not have a conflict on it, and the memory and the type. So we have 3 kind of type. We have the controller, 2 workers, and the external node. And that's it for this part. So it's just a variable named nodes, and we will use it through some loops. The first one is a loop on the node for sure, and the goal of these lines is to set etc host, and etc host is just auto increment with an echo. So this is the content of the etc host. That doesn't mean that we want to execute directly the echo and the entire line. The goal is just to set it inside the etc host. We will execute this command just later, but not right now. Yes, when we will carry out this line, what we want to do, we just insert in this command, in this variable, the echo, the IP, and as we are inside the etc host, we are just after that the host name and the /etc host. Yes, with two upper character, and after that we need to close this part, close the loop, and after that, yes, we have another loop again. What we will have into it, we have here another loop based on node, and into it we set the config to set the host name, the network, and the IP that we want to use. To use it, it's just a Ruby language variable usage. It's classical like a hash that we want to use. So to do that, we are in the node loop. We use the node into it, and in the node we want to use a specific key. So this is host name here, and after that we have the IP here, and just after that we set some parameter for VirtualBox in our case, and we will set the CPU, the memory, and some other stuff into it. Basically, we want to run a specific bash script to customize just our instance. For example, to have some aliases like our, so I can set it right now, like our Kubernetes alias. It's xavkey.sh. So if I use here xavkey.sh, we can say, okay, for kubectl, for example, we have the alias based on K, and we have a lot of aliases into it, and some settings just to say, okay, our kube config will be set just right here in the home of Vagrant in .k0s, and that will be the file named kubeconfig. Okay, so I can continue. Yes, and if we go ahead, we have here the execution of our variable for etc host, so that will execute the echo command line with all information into it, just to set the /etc/host, and we execute the common variable, so this is the apt update, install, and so on. And just after that, we will check if the user selects K0S equal to yes. So we just want to ensure to execute the provisioning of our cluster. If only if it's an external node, we don't want to install. We don't want to install the and to run the install dash install underscore K0S.sh. We can pass here an argument to provide the type of the server. Just meaning we want to run a specific argument for the controller and for the worker and process it inside the script. Okay, and after that, especially for the external node, that will be the external node, like you see here, will be the last node provisioned, and to ensure that we will have a clean directory, we want to remove here the famous token generated by K0S during the installation process at the beginning, and used to join the cluster for each server that we want to have inside the cluster, so for each server here. But we will use the K0x just to remove this specific token stored inside /vagrant/token file, and we close all the thing here. So now we just need to set and to write our K0S.sh file. So this is a bash script, and into it we will have some lines like you see. The first thing is just to catch the argument and to push it in a classical variable inside our bash script. So this is type. After that, we just collect the IP on the server where we are. We set some bash function. The first one will be just to download the K0S script to install the cluster after that, and to install the K0S. So this is a binary with a pipe on sh for shell command. After that, we have another install K0S cluster just after the installation of the K0S tool. We need to initiate our cluster. So to do that, we ensure that to not have a token file. We create a dedicated directory /etc K0S. We run a K0S config create, so that will generate like a template of a YAML file to set the K0S cluster. We push it inside /etc/K0S, our previous directory, and we push it inside K0S.yml. So this is a YAML file. We will just change the IP that we have inside this file, because with Vagrant the default IP used inside the init script will be the 10.0.2.15, and it's a wrong IP. It's an IP shared for all servers inside the Vagrant file, and that will be the first interface used with this script. So we need to ensure to use the real IP of our virtual server, and to do that we just use a sed to replace the Vagrant IP with the regular IP of our virtual server, because we already set it into the IP variable with the hostname -i. And after that, we can run the installation with the K0S install controller. So to set a controller -c, and we run it here with the configuration file here. And after that, we can start here the first node. And for this installation, it's only let me check. It's only played. This one is K0S cluster. Install K0S cluster. So I can double click K0S cluster. It's only, like you see here, we have an execution with some condition, and the first condition will be on the controller type. And if we are on the controller type, we will run the install K0S cluster just after, right after the install K0S. For the other server, so for workers, we run the install K0S, but we don't need to run, and it's really important to not run it, the install K0S cluster, because our cluster is already initiated, and we can just join, and the join is only on workers. So for the join, that will be K0S install cluster. We just specify where we can find the token file, and we will start as well. We will start the node, and so the K0S. After that, what we want to do, we have some other function, wait API, just to wait to ensure that the API server, the Kubernetes API server on the 6443 port is up and running. So we want to wait like here for the controller. After that, we can be sure to join our workers. And another function, install kubectl. So this is basically the Kubernetes client classical binary. So we set it, we just install it with some permissions. We ensure to have here the kubectl file, sorry. So we will copy here the admin conf. This is where we will have our certificate to communicate and to be authenticated with the Kube API server, and we will push it inside the home vagrant .K0S inside kubeconfig, and that will be our kubeconfig environment variable. So when we will run kubectl, by default we will use it. And after that, another function to install some tooling. You can add a lot of stuff into it. We will have the kube ps1, so for the prompt to know where what is the context, what is the namespace. We will install probably, yes, the kubectx, so to add kubeins, kubectx, and we will add here what is it? I don't remember. It's a K0S, so it's a TUI, terminal interface, to manage the Kubernetes cluster, and the bash auto-completion for our Kubernetes command line, and the join cluster. So we will, and here you can see, we just, to be sure, we will wait 30 seconds to be sure that the cluster will be up and running before to create the token and before to pass to another node to install workers. I think with that we are quite good. So let me try to run the Vagrant up command and say yes. So now let's go to install each virtual server. The first one will be the C10, and we will have 11, 12, and the external node. Yes, basically we need to wait a little bit to have a virtual server up and running. So it's classical step inside the Vagrant installation. So now we have the server up and running. So you can see it's quite quick because that took like 10 seconds. And after that, where we are green, that means that we will run some bash script in our case. So here you can see some logs about it. And this is the apt update, apt install for some our custom tools. And we will probably see some lines about the provisioning. Yes, now we will download the K0S tool. So it's the version v1.34 here. And that took a few seconds. That depends of your bandwidth network, of course. And if you want, all this stuff will be provided inside the video description, so you can just clone it and you can adapt it as well. Yes, it's okay. We have the executable, the binary. I can open this server to connect on it. So Vagrant, so this is my alias, V for Vagrant SSH, and we have K0S10. So I am on it. Yes, it's not again, or yes, I don't know. Yes, it's okay. It seems to be good for the first node. When we run, but it's especially for K0S. When we run a kubeget node, in fact, controllers won't be there because this is only workers. It's not like a classical cluster. So now the second node, and if you check, yes, you can use -OY to check the IP, but for now, nothing into it. Just you need to wait a bit. You can run the K0S status maybe, or with sudo. Yes, with sudo, you can see here we have the role controller, and this is not a single node cluster. This is what we have inside the output. We have the cluster version here, and yes, that can be quick. In fact, what do we have inside the K0S? Normally, we can list server that we have into it. I don't remember exactly. So the status is here. Run worker no, sysinfo. You can display some information about the system that can be really useful if you need to troubleshoot or just for information, of course. We have the config, but we already used it before. The API, the backup, you can backup as well. You can consult or check the documentation. You can manage the etcd cluster as well, and yes, you can reset, restore stuff, stop and start the cluster. So now it's quite, I think, good for the second server. So if we just run kubectl get nodes here, yes, now we have a node. So it's not ready, but that will take a few seconds to have it up and running or ready for Kubernetes. So if we check again, few seconds again, and now we are ready. And we can wait a little bit for the K0S 12. But right now we can run a pod, so we can kubectl run test -- image, but yes, maybe it's not I don't know. nginx.latest, like here, and if we run it, kubectl get pod, we have our aliases, so it's really useful to have it, and yes, it's great. And now we can just check the pod. Take a few seconds. My network is not really quick. And kubectl get node for the third node. So we are we are still on the download of K0S. It's okay. And now we pass to the other nodes. That means yes, we have the not ready K0S C12. That take again maybe 30 seconds to have it. I think yes, now we are ready, and the other node is not really important, but it will be up and running in few seconds. So it's quite good. I hope for you that will be useful for you. Don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel to not miss next video, and I will really happy to see you again on the next one. Bye bye, see you.